at last, we got Mushoku Tensei, chapter 55. Now, like I said before, in almost every chapter review I do for the manga, I say that if you go to a raw translation site like LH Scans, you'll notice that the Mushoku Tensei chapters, along with Shield Hero and plenty of others, all come out the 19th of every month. The chapter was released on the 30th, actually, of yesterday, but I didn't have time to review it, so here I am. Plus, I was also waiting on something else before I review it as well. Now, I'm here waiting for this chapter, waiting for Rudius to see, pretty much, his fated partners. He finally gets to be in the special classroom, the ones, the misfits, the troublemakers, or they're just geniuses. They're put in this classroom because they're special exceptions to the rules compared to everybody else who has to pay their way to get into the school, or they just have really good grades. So you gotta be a genius, or you gotta have some type of high standing in order to be in this class. So Ruiz got in because he was known for his very special talents, and not much of his gray rat name was he from a broken noble family, because his father, in a way, left his noble lineage behind when he went off to become an adventurer. Now, the importance of this chapter, it shows the people that Ruiz, the people that are going to have a humongous impact on Ruiz's life in the future, pretty much. These people are going to have, in some way or some form, going to change his destiny and also become his lifelong friends. So these people aren't just here just for classmates. They're going to have very big roles to play later on down the road, if you're a web novel reader. And the first one he meets is Zenova. He met Zenova before when he was off rescuing his little sister Aisha and his second mother Lilia, and they didn't give him much screen time like they did in the web novels, where he had more interaction. In the manga, it was more like he was questioning, Brutus, did he make this doll, and he found out he wanted to be called Master. So, however, people were kind of complaining, saying they wish they called him Senso, because that's what they call him in the web novels. But then again, the web novels are made or translated through fan translations, and sometimes, I'll admit, fans do a better job at translating than the officials, because, I don't know, it just is. Now, Zonaba is a special case compared to everybody else. He is what you call a Miku. A Miku is someone who's very special in their world. They're born bearing superhuman gifts. They're treasures of the world. The powers make them similar to special superheroes. They're called the gifted children, or in some ways, the cursed children, determined on their circumstances. Zonova was given superhuman strength, so pretty much it was hard for him to really hard. This guy couldn't control his strength since he was a kid, so I'm not sure they're going to mention his personal life story much in the manga like they did in the web novels, because some of the stuff Zonova did, even as a child, was kind of questionable, if you guys know what I'm saying. But yeah, he's going to be one of Ruiz's closest friends and stuff. So he went there because the situation that happened when he was rescuing his sister, and him and his brother were both kicked out of the kingdom, pretty much, to learn their lesson. Then finally we get to see the two Beast Girls. Everyone's been waiting for these two to show up, the cat and the dog. And I gotta say, the way they're drawn in the manga is pretty nice. I like the way they're drawn in the manga a lot. It's really good. I'm actually looking at it right now. I'm trying to remember the names. My favorite one was the cat girl. I know in the manga, the light novels, in the Wikipedia page, her name was Rina and stuff, and she'll always say "nya" at the end of her sentence, like a cat. She's a cat piece. But in this one, she uses "nya" every time she says something with an N instead. Whoever came with the idea was dumb. Okay, I don't like the way she talks in this one. I don't. And her name changed too. It's Linia instead. Instead of Rinia, it's Linia. Then again, when I bring some of the fan translations, it was kind of like this as well. So I'm guessing Rebel Scans is going with Linia, but we'll have to see when we get the official translations through manga or light novel. We'll see which one comes first. Anyways, they meet the cat girls, the cat dog girl, and finally we got some people's personal favorite, Priscilla, pretty much Priscilla, and the way they did. Well, she is the character where she eats a lot of meat. At the same time, her usually supposed to be saying "fuck Nana," where Rina's supposed to say, well, Nina is supposed to say "nya" in every sentence. She's supposed to say "fuck Nano," like something people say like "fuck" or "nano" at every sentence. She doesn't do it here, and this just upset a lot of people. I can see why it did, in a way. Like, yo, bring back the original translations, but they're not the original translations. They are fan translations, so there's a big difference on there. Despite how upset we are with it, I'm upset too, but we have to accept these are the officials. And finally, we meet, some people call him Best Boy, Cliff. Now, Cliff is supposed to be a genius because he's really smart when it comes to magical circles and stuff. So it proves that Rudius isn't the best at everything, which is a good thing. But there is something that they left out in the manga. A major mistake that they made in the manga. A lot of people questioned, and I questioned myself of why they left this out, especially being a very important part to the story. During the time when Rudius, Eris, and Redrick went to Melis and to search for the father and his sister Norn, Eris went on a little job to slay goblins. And when she slayed them goblins, she met two important people. One of them was Cliff, and the other one was a Miku. I'm not going to get much about the Miku, but I will talk more about Cliff. Cliff was the one who was parting her within the adventure, and he was trying to show off about how advanced he is, but Eris wasn't impressed because Rudius could do better. So she just saw Cliff as a nuisance. And then there she saw a poor little Miku and her protector, which is actually Rudius' aunt, Thracia, being attacked by assassins, but Eris took them out and she saved Miku. Ever since then, Cliff always admired Eris for her strength. And so Cliff actually was technically already introduced to the story all the way back in Volume 5. Back in Volume 5. But they changed it up for some reason, so there's a big difference there. A lot of people question why did they skip out on this part. They thought it was a very important part. I guess the writer himself felt like they needed to do it yet. They could do without it. I think it would have been a great little Easter egg if they did that, at least mention it. That would have been nice. So with that being said, let's move on to the next thing. Pretty much he's saying how he met Eris and saying how his back was small and how he pretty much another misinterpretation of what Eris meant in a way. So after that, after meeting class, he went to meet Fitz again, and they're talking about the teleportation incident by studying teleportation labyrinths in a way. Might be the key for understanding what's happening. And finally, he left. Some stranger threw him some holy maiden garments. You know what I mean. Threw over panties. Some person who seemed to know who this is. And that's pretty much the chapter. There was mixed feelings about this chapter. Some people were saying how it was funny, while some others were saying how, the typical thing, they're wishing it was more towards the light novels. Which, once again, I have to say, it's an adaptation. Don't expect every little thing to be the same. It's to be expected. Now, that being said, let's get on to the next thing of business of yesterday. I just got today because I decided to check the mailbox today, early in the morning. Here it is. Mushoku Tensei, Volume 2. I have not read it just yet. Pupil Becomes the Master, Volume 2. Volume 3 won't come out until October, so we got some ways to go. I'm not sure I'll have time to read it this week because I got some other stuff I need to study for, actually. But in the meantime, I will keep it on hand. I'll probably try to read a chapter a day or something. We'll see. But all these guys say is like to thank Seven Seas Entertainment for licensing it and translating it. I know it's probably difficult for some people to quickly translate stuff, but I am thankful for them for doing it because the way they did it in a way is like this. They got the manga first, then they got the spin-off to the manga, then they decided to adapt the light novels last, which in my opinion, I feel like they should adapt the light novels first, then, license the light novels first, then get the manga, because that way it would have been better for people. I don't know, it's just my opinion. Well, anyways, in Japan as well, of last week, on the 25th, Volume 22 was released as well. Volume 22. There are 24 volumes in the main series Mushoku Tensei. They're on Volume 22. And according to some rumors on a Russian site, that's fan site of Mushoku Tensei, the light novel series of the main series will be done by the end of this year. All 24 volumes. It'll be done. So, a message to Japan, I doubt they'll see this, but to all the fans out there, this is almost done. This is literally almost done. They only have 2 volumes left. And not even including redundancy, even though I think like redundancy is just as important. There's no excuse. There is no excuse. All the volumes are done. Even if you do finish the first season, you can do the second season and then more. The series is popular with sales and ratings. It won tons of awards. You have no excuse. I know some people were saying they wish it was adapted sooner than later, but I feel like it's better if we adapt it now, so that way I want to see what happens. I realize when an industry or a studio adapts a manga and it's already done, such like Parasite and JoJo, they do an excellent job at adapting it because it's already done. You have everything you need to adapt that series to its fullest potential. This series is pretty much done. It's already like 2 volumes left and it's over with. So whoever does this studio, please let me White Fox. Please. You have no excuse not to rightfully adapt this. I'm not saying do it word for word like most people are hoping for, which they should get that thought of their mind already. I'm just saying that it's pretty much done. You have everything you need. You have the light novels, you have the manga, you have all that stuff you have to perfectly adapt this into an anime. People are fearing that it might screw up like Arcturia, which I don't know why Arcturia is screwing up, and that's just bad planning on the studio itself. If they get to a big budget studio, I bet you it will be well adapted. I can guarantee it. So hopefully, whoever gets this will adapt it all the way to the end, because it's pretty much done. Because the excuse has always been with fans is why something never gets continued or poorly adapted is because 1, there's not enough material. 2, it wasn't popular enough. Or 3, or maybe it was it. I think it was just 2, not enough material, or it wasn't popular enough. This is really popular and the material is almost done. Now I feel like I'm repeating myself over and over again. So that's all I got for this video actually. Expect the next chapter drop be released next month on the 19th, because every 19th of every month is a new chapter, by the way. And I'll probably will review the volume 2 of the light novel series when I'm done with it, which will take a while. I like to take my time when it comes to reading light novels and stuff, because you're not looking at pictures, you gotta imagine everything to your brain and stuff, visualize it. It's real good. So anyways, if you enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe. Of course, hit that bell icon so you get notified every time I upload. Now, Crown Anime, signing out.